I'm ready. You come here to watch a fucking podcast. We'll give you a fucking podcast, huh? It's me, Freddy No Nuts.
The irony of that is hilarious because there's like five guys in this episode named Frank, Freddy, Bill, or Al. Hi, podcast. It's been a while since
What's
we've
up,
done an
podcast?
actual episode, and I am partially autistic, um, and absolutely love the Chicago
Partially?
Mafia. Oh, partially, partially, and then my other wall really shows off my autism.
You gotta hide it. This
Yeah,
guy looks like Saddam Hussein. This guy in a brown jacket right here.
I doubt that's probably like Dave Smith. Something simple. But my family is from Sicily, so like I grew up learning about the mafia and everything. Robbie's German. He's white. He doesn't have anything cool. Hitler, yay! But today we're gonna talk about the Chicago outfit. If you don't know what that is, I mean, they're still around today. And shocker, Sully's taking the lead on the episode that actually has research and words behind it. Oh my god.
Fuck you.
So yeah, Robbie, do you know a whole lot about this?
Fuck you. I
Sorry.
played the Mafia games,
Okay.
and I've watched what's his name? Frank Castiglione. No, that's the Punisher.
That's the
What's
punishment.
his fucking name? Fucking the dude who was the fucking he was in the Columbo crime family, and now he does the YouTube videos where he watches
Oh,
Mafia and
yes, I know who you're
yep,
talking about.
that's what I would have done. Yep.
Yeah. I spent all of work year this year just listening to Mafia podcast and whatnot after I was told my family history. And yeah, shit's a little wild. Also, sorry if Robbie's webcam's laggy. Our shit's been weird all day, but you can hear his audio. That's all we care about. Alrighty, let's get into it. So the Chicago outfit was founded in 1910, which would have been 114 years ago now, which is kind of crazy to think about. Like, like we learned about this shit in like school, and they're like, it happened 100 years ago. In Chicago, they're still around today, but obviously they're not. I mean, the United Healthcare guy, whatever. Um, but I mean, if we could see a comeback from the Mafia, we got a new game coming out next year. I'm pumped.
You play as Luigi Mangione.
No, I think the new Mafia game takes place in Sicily, so that's dope. Obviously, the Chicago outfit's main area was Chicago. However, they had territories in Vegas, Phoenix, and South Florida. Also, sorry if I look really weird looking up there. That's where all my notes are, is on my second monitor. So, fuck you. Oh, hold on. Let me fix this jaw real quick. There we go. We're cooking. What the hell did Manny say? Hold on. Oh boy, Manny's dealing with his stepdad. Uh, so, they had a lot of territories. Their main crimes were racketeering, bribes, robbery, loan sharking, gambling, prostitution, auto theft, bootlegging, murder, money laundering. The list goes on.
All the fun ones.
Yeah, anything you can be like, did they do this? Probably. Their main like rival, like when we think of like Batman versus the Joker, this was the Chicago outfit and the North Side gang. But it didn't start with like, oh, Al Capone. Yeah. No, it started with this dude named Big Jim Calasmois. I don't know. He has an
How are
Italian
you
last name.
Sicilian and you can't even say
Because okay, I was born here. Okay? I don't really know. Okay, I don't really know what happened in life other than when my
fake
father
Sicilian?
gets mad. Yeah, pretty much. I got olive skin. All right, I'll take my winnings. I don't get sunburnt. Uh Basically, this dude named Big Jim was born in Italy in 1878 and immigrated into Chicago in 1895, where he would let himself know that he was a criminal. Apparently, he like how gay people come out. He just decided to be like, I'm a criminal. In 1909, he brought a man up from New York named Johnny Torrio, and he ran what was known as the Black Hand Organization. Big Jim had a lot of political connections, and fun fact, these motherfuckers love politics a lot. Politics and the mafia are like peanut butter and jelly. Um, he was a criminal, but became an alderman in Chicago and would just pay off the politicians around him. Because, fuck it. Why not? Come the 1920s, if you know the slightest bit of American history, the lovely thing called Prohibition came, which was the banning of alcohol.
Boo,
Now,
boo,
now Johnny was
boo.
like, "Hey, Big Jim, we should really get into doing this shit. There's a lot of money in it." And Jim was like, "No, I don't. That's wrong. I would never do sell alcohol legally. That's wrong." So John, when he got a divorce, he was like, "All right, I'm gonna get eloped with this random lady who's a singer," and then he moved to Indiana. But then when he came back to Chicago, good old Johnny there put out a hit on him and was killed. Big Jim was killed in the coat room of his own restaurant. The killer, who was not identified, was a man named Frankie Yale, and Johnny paid him to do the hit. There's a lot of backstabbing in this, like a lot.
It's the mob.
Yeah. Johnny's organization mainly had Italians, but his gang was a little different because he also pulled up people from the underworld of Chicago. So he'd be like, "You're doing well in New York." Wait, the underworld of New York. He'd be like, "You're doing well in New York. Come to cold ass Chicago." And one of those men would have been named Al Capone. And he left New York for Chicago in 1919 under the orders of Frankie Yale, the man who did the hit on Big Jim. Big Jim sounds like a pro wrestler. Honestly, all of these nicknames, they could all be pro wrestlers.
Big Jim versus fucking John Cena.
In a 3 stages of hell match in the Punjabi prison. like, Capone began his like journey as a doorman at the Four Deuces Club but by 1924 he was known as a businessman and became Johnny's right-hand man. In 1923, William Denver, whatever the fuck, was elected mayor and began to crack down on, and I quote, Johnny's underworld shit. They lost their political cover and eventually moved to the suburbs of Chicago where they would like find their new home. There was a town named Cicero where they took over and they were like, what could we do to make Cicero like us? Oh, wait, there's a political operation happening. So they found out who was really corrupt in that city and, yeah, basically took it over. Because in this town, they set up a lot of gambling dens, speakeasies, brothels, whatever. But election like time came around, and the dude who they wanted to win was not winning. We should bring the Mafia back into politics. That'd be great for it. Don't you agree? We're not divided enough already. Let's bring in groups. So, they wanted their electoral officials to win. So, Tommy and Capone terrorized the opposing voters, and the gang would stand outside of polling places, making sure that they voted for the right person. They ransacked the local Democratic Party building as well, detaining election workers for hours. The Chicago Police Department was ordered to step in, and there was a shooting. Frank Capone, Al's brother, was killed by William Cussack during an altercation on 72nd Street. Luckily, though, the Mafia won the election, and they knew that they would be fine going into the 30s. Now Johnny was kind of a pussy compared to Capone. He was very wary of we probably shouldn't do that. We could probably have a conversation. So like there was a lot of negotiations over territory, other than with the North Side. Capone didn't give a fuck. Like this man didn't give a fuck. Um, And the whole Northside Gang thing we won't get into because that's another hour of research and then an hour of yapping because that's an entirely different gang. Same thing with any, like, I'm not going into Al Capone's history because that's a whole nother episode, and that's a
We
lot of.
all know Al Capone's history.
He was a weird.
Evaded taxes, got shot in a pizzeria.
Yeah. Did some shit in New York when he was a kid, got beat by
You
his
know.
father. The average Italian man thing in the 20s. Okay, but this is where things get exciting. But by 1924, the Chicago outfit had like 3 to 400 cool guys, and the North Side Gang only had like 200 people. In early 1925, the North Side Gang began a string of attempted killings to kill one of the top members in the outfit. In January of 25, Capone's car was shot up. However, he wasn't inside, so 12 days later, Johnny was coming back from a shopping trip with his wife, and he was shot several times by the Northside Gang. Apparently, he was 50 Cent, and after recovering, he gave the lead of the outfit to Capone. And you know what Johnny would do? You would think after being shot multiple times and being like, I'm getting out. Nah, he went to New York and joined their mafia. So he didn't really learn. Okay, the beer wars. Capone's right hand man was a guy named Jack McCum. MCCUM. Jack McCum. I,
Unfortunate man.
yeah, dude didn't give a fuck. This would also include Tony Capizio, Sam Hunt, and Frank Rio. And like I said, when Capone took this shit over, he didn't give a fuck. Like before, the like outfit was very like cautious of who they took out and all this other shit, but Capone didn't give a fuck. He had the Chicago Police Department paid off. He had politicians paid off, and everybody loved him because he'd go and like donate to food banks and give money. So everybody liked Al Capone. But if you were on Capone's bad side, he go fuck you up. Which is why in a year they killed over 133 men. And on September 26, Northside Gang attacked Capone's headquarters at the Cicero Hotel, shooting hundreds of rounds and not hitting Capone once. Less than a month had passed, and Northside Gang leader was gunned down by a Thompson done by Jack McGroon. In 1928, there was this thing called the Pineapple Primary Election. Now, Capone had a lot of money, right? And if we do this in today's money, let me pull up a separate Google tab here. How much was $200,000 worth in 1928? Uh, so $200,000 in 1928 is roughly about $3.6 million today. So that shows you how much money these dudes had to throw down.
That's a lot of money.
And with like Big Jim and Johnny, they weren't like wearing flashy suits or watches. They didn't care because they wanted to keep it on the profile. Not Al Capone. Dude walked around with a $50,000 watch on every day. You think Rolexes are expensive? Dude had $1 million watch on at all times. Dude's literally. I think the Penguin from Batman is based off of Al Capone. Like he's a little goober. Um. Oh yeah. In Capone, so the Pineapple primary election, he donated $200,000 to the Big Bill campaign, which was a corrupt mayoral campaign. Now, if we go back to Capone's first campaign that they took over, they were just like, "Hey, vote for us, rah!" But now with Al Capone in power, he used his thugs to bomb, assault, and kill other political rivals to keep the Republican Party in power. Now, I mean, Capone did a lot of shit. He'd kill, but the funny thing was, is Capone would like, I'd go beat Robbie up as Al Capone, but then the next day I would walk into the hospital and pay for Robbie's hospital bill. Like, like that's the thing, is he would just be like, hey, go beat that dude's ass. I'm gonna pay his hospital bill, which is fucking crazy. Dude just didn't care. Oh, we got a little bit of lag. There we go. Now, He's like most well-known event was 1929 St. Valentine's Day massacre to kill a dude named Bugs Moran, who took over the Northside gang after the last one was killed. Four of Capone's men, two dressed as Chicago Police Department officers, entered the CMC Cartage Company, located at 2122 North Clark Street in Chicago. Fun fact: when we were in Chicago, we were only like 3 blocks away from this parking area. So, like, the podcast doesn't know that story. We had a great time in Chicago one time, and yeah, we were really close to where this happened, and I know that because when I got there, I tried to talk to Manny about it. Manny took a nap. um,
I was already napping.
yeah, you were asleep in the back seat. Um, but
Napping.
there were 7 men
Yeah.
of the Jesus Christ. Someday we'll talk about that on here. Um, there were 7 of the Northside men, and they were awaiting a shipment of booze. However, Capone's men made it look like a police raid and lined up the men on the wall and shot them all to death. Um, Moran was late to the meeting, so they didn't even kill him. And yeah, that's pretty much it for like Capone's thing. Like, there's a lot of history on Capone, so like we could do a whole nother episode just on him. Which after this one, I'm probably gonna sit here and do research because I'm in a yapping mood, and I love getting talk about autistic topics because that shit makes me happy. Robbie just sits here and giggles, and I just talk, and I'm okay with that. Capone somehow, over his 300 murders, was never convicted of a single murder. They were just like, he didn't do
I wonder
that.
why. It was probably because, he paid the government off.
Yeah, however, he did get
I
convicted of
didn't do it.
what on
Here's
3
200
accounts.
grand because I didn't do it.
Yeah, he got convicted of income tax evasion on October 17th of 1931 and
That's
was
what it'll get you.
sentenced to 11 years in federal prison, $50,000 plus.
Listen.
Hey, I'm talking a lot right now. Okay, prison, and was fined $50,000 plus court cost and was held liable for the $215,000 he owned in interest. Once again, he probably didn't really give a fuck because he wore a $50,000 watch every single day. So he didn't really care. But he said fuck that and decided to die of heart failure in prison. I also think he had AIDS, but I'm not sure on that one. I think that's a rumor.
I thought Al Capone got fucking shot.
Nah, I mean, I'm guessing at some point he was shot, but he died in prison. I do know that. Uh, but of course,
Yeah, I thought he got shot in like a restaurant.
like little roaches that they are, guess what? Out with the old, in with the new. A nice man named Frank Nitti, who was also convicted of tax evasion, only received an 18-month sentence, so he was released in 1932. And he took the place of Capone, and eventually it became really well known that he didn't have the power, and a nice man named Paul Ricca, whatever, was actually the one in power. And he would overrule Frank's stuff, and he was one of the leaders of the National Crime Syndicate, which is a fucking dope thing to be a part of, I guess. That's like Despicable Me type shit. That's cool as fuck.
The
Hold on.
gathering of villains.
Yeah. It's like the meeting from Wreck-It Ralph. I am bad, and that is good.
And
Like,
that's good.
um,
I will never be good, and that's not bad.
but unlike Al Capone, where he was only in for a couple years fucking shit up, Rika and Frank would run this together for the next 40 years, which is a long time of him not being dead. Over the next decade, I mean, they would move into simpler stuff like racketeering, gambling, and loan sharking. And a lot of the 40s outfit leaders went to prison. Nitty eventually went to prison because he was controlling the Hollywood movie industry unions. So, like, the actors' unions and everything was in full control of the Chicago Mafia. And Nitty was overly claustrophobic and ended up killing himself in prison over it.
Hmm.
Yeah, so Rika then became the boss of the outfit and would rule for almost 30 years. Damn, okay, I'm flying through this way more than I thought I would. I am in full yap mode right now. But I have more notes that I did not copy and paste over. Oh, wait, no. Wait, where the fuck did the rest of my notes go? Okay, we're gonna ad-lib the rest of this, so if any of it's wrong, I don't really care. John F. Kennedy. Okay, so I'm going
What
on.
about him?
So JFK, right? Everybody loves JFK, and was like, man, John F. Kennedy was such a great man. I don't know why he was assassinated. I love John F.
The
Kennedy.
CIA didn't.
Well, neither did the Mafia, let me tell you. So the Chicago outfit at some point was like, because JFK apparently during the beginning of the election was like, shit, we're not gonna win this. We need help. Now, could we go out there and be like, yeah, vote for JFK? Yeah, sure. Or could I pay these dudes in the Chicago Mafia to go whoop some ass, literally, and get votes for me? And they did that. But when JFK got elected, he decided to turn on the Mafia. Which, oh no, probably wasn't the smartest idea, speaking that JFK got assassinated. Yeah, the CIA probably did it, but with how corrupt the CIA was at the time, it was probably the Mafia who did it, but they linked it to the CIA. I'm not trying to get
Who
assassinated.
knows?
I love the CIA.
JFK had a lot of enemies.
I love the
I
CIA.
don't.
The Derailed podcast loves the government.
I don't. I got a message for the CIA. Fuck you. I'm easy to find. You're frozen.
Part of that lagged and it was just, fuck you. I'm easy to find.
That's all I say.
It's like Ice Cube. I got a message for the Oreo cookie.
Yo,
uh,
Dre, I got something to say. Fuck the CIA.
Other than that, I mean, okay, I'm not gonna lie. This is a very quick podcast. I yapped really fast, and I'm kind of sad that I yapped fast, and I should have done more research. But whatever, I don't fucking care. There's movies about it. There's The Godfather. There's The Sopranos TV show, and there's Mafia 1 and 2. Do not play 3. Do not play 3.
3 is dog
It's
ass.
not.
Dog
It's
ass.
not that the game itself is dog ass. It's just very repetitive. Nor do I understand.
Dog ass.
Okay, compared to 1 and 2, which are like fantastic. And then they're like, you can be a black guy in Louisiana. They didn't really have mobs down there, but we'll make it a thing. And then they were like, you have to wait 10 years and then you get another Mafia game that's actually Mafia and not black dude in Louisiana.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mafia 3 was just like 1960s GTA.
But not funny and very repetitive. I don't know. I think I'm gonna replay it for single player winner this year, just so I can see if it's actually as bad as people say it is. I was like 12 when the game came out. I don't fucking remember. You look at me like you look at me like
Probably
you
is.
just ate a sour candy. Yeah, Robbie, but I enjoy games like Power Wash Simulator, so I don't really fucking care. Also, would you want to do a series with me, Robbie? I have an idea, and I'm completely stealing it. Would you want to do it with me? I'm gonna call it
What series?
I'm gonna call it Power Wash Pals, and it's where we play Power Wash Simulator for an hour straight and just yap for an hour.
Honestly, I'm down.
Oh my god. Okay. We're gonna do that in the next episode. Um I don't know what the fuck we're gonna talk about, but I'm really excited to play Power Wash Sim. Don't ask why. I enjoy that game. Cause I like stupid games. Um
Yeah, you're autistic.
we're gonna make a TikTok as well with Ready or Not clips, cause that's fucking sweet. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. Boink. So yeah, a lot of big things. Also, I kind of want to try something, Robbie. I understand that we're already 15 days into
What's that?
December. We're already 15 days into December. But from December 15th, when this is being recorded, until January 15th, we put out one piece of content every single day.
All right.
Now, there's going to be a
The
lot of
December to remember.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of pre-recorded shit. So if anything big happens in the news, do not expect it to be covered.
We
I'm
might
gonna,
do an emergency pod.
yeah,
But
you might get like a 15 emergency podcast. Like, the Amazon guy was killed by the Mafia, and we didn't do research, so we're gonna spread a bunch of fake news about it because it's funny. Because that's how we roll. If you're coming,
misinformation.
Yeah, if you're coming, we're like a TikTok Reddit story. If you're coming here for real stories, you're in the wrong place. If we open an episode and one of us isn't looking at notes, it's probably fake.
Yeah, if you want real news, go watch MSNBC.
Don't watch any major media outlet. Go on Twitter, find the nearest politician, and just start hitting follow. It doesn't matter what party they're in. Just follow as many politicians as you can.
Everything they say is true.
Yeah. Politicians never lie. They're never corrupted by outside groups.
Never.
Um, Robbie, Robbie has a big.
Never.
Robbie's running for president in 2028, and I'm running as his vice. Um,
I am?
yeah, you're going to be the president of the United States. Ignore the mafia behind you. Wow. Yeah.
I didn't hear about this.
Yeah. You know, we're gonna run for president. We would make great political party. I think we'd make great politicians. Be like, you guys don't like high gas prices? Me neither. And I don't know
Totally.
what we would do about it. So we're gonna put a poll on our
Free.
We're gonna put a poll on our Instagram. You guys decide what happens with the national gas prices.
Good, I run for a second term. Vote on the poll on Insta.
Single hit my line. Shit, wrong account. Should we go to war with China? We'd make terrible political officials. Okay, that's that podcast. We'll keep it somewhat short today. Share it with your mom. Share it with your dad. Fuck you, Hassan Piker. Fuck you, Alec Baldwin. Fuck French people. Fuck Kia Soul drivers. Anybody I'm forgetting? Fuck the army recruiters by the Target office. Um,
Yeah, fuck you guys.
Cody Rhodes won.
Suck my enlisted cock.
Cody Rhodes won this weekend against Kevin Owens. Thank you, Luigi, for joining us today on the podcast episode. Glad to see you're doing great.
Defend, deny, depose.
Reduce, reuse, recycle, or whatever they say. But we're gonna go play Power Wash Simulator now.
Yippee.
Podcast out.